Shabbat shalom, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This week's parsha is Shemini. So, firstly, this is Gus Kiefer's bar mitzvah parsha. In 2021, it was Gus's bar mitzvah, and he read this from the Torah. So famously, the story from Shemini is the story of Nadav and Avihu, Aaron's two sons, who, after offering a strange offering in the temple, were struck and killed. So what is we talk about this every year. What was it that was so bad that Nadav and Avihu did? So just to give some backstory, we've been building up in the Torah for like a lot of weeks, and so a lot of time in reality, of this building of this temple, of this Mishkan in the desert. It's a very holy place. It's used for the Jewish people to become close with God because they're feeling distant from God. All these details and particularities, it's not like an easy peasy lemon squeezy sort of, like, it's very detailed how to give these korbanot, these sacrifices, how to build the Mishkan itself, the materials used, the decorations used, like it's all very specific. And on the very first day that it's ever going to be used, the inauguration of the Mishkan, Nadav and Avihu are inspired by some sort of energy, and they bring in an Eish Zara, a strange fire, an offering of their own volition, and they are struck and killed. What is it that's so bad? Firstly, just like on a very basic level, on the first day, let's say we're opening up a brand new football stadium, and I don't know, some gymnasts decide to come in and do a really beautiful acrobatic routine in the middle of the field. And in doing this acrobatic routine in the middle of the field, they destroy all of the perfectly put astroturf, and they kick up all of the beautifully put lines and yard lines. I don't know what football words are, but let's say that there's these people who go in, they're like inspired, we're gonna do this performance. They do the performance, but they mess up the entire field. All the hard work, all the money that's gone into it, all the time and energy is ruined. Those people wouldn't be let down easy. I mean, they wouldn't be killed, but they definitely wouldn't. They would be given some sort of very expensive fine. And so this is sort of what Nadav and Avihu did. They defiled this brand new spiritual place with their idea of what was holy and special and good, when in fact it wasn't exactly what had been asked for. Okay, so what is so bad about doing that? Okay, so our commentators say it's that they did it without being asked. They did it on their own volition. They did it spontaneously without really any thought. Fine. That would be fine. If Moshe himself hadn't done a number of things on his own volition that were not asked for, that were not condoned. For example, when Moshe is up on Har Sinai, he comes down and sees the Jewish people building the Egel HaZahav, the golden calf, and he throws down the tablets, this very, very precious ritual object, throws them down and destroys them. That was spontaneous. That was on his own volition. Why wasn't he struck down? Okay, why? Because Nadav and Avihu were priests, and Moshe is a prophet. Okay? Priests have a different role than prophets do. Priests have very strict, as we said, the temple is a very, very strict place. There are rules, there are strictures, all of these things that define what a priest is allowed to do. A prophet, however, is known for it's whatever the prophet wants. It's however the prophet is inspired with this Ruach HaKodesh, this sort of like Holy Spirit that takes them and helps them to communicate these holy words. It's different to be a priest than it is to be a prophet. And Nadav and Avihu violated that sort of natural order of things. It's the same thing, we talk about this a number of times, where you need leaders and you need community members. You need people to contribute in certain ways. You need people to contribute in other ways. If we're all contributing in the same way, nothing's going to work. Nadav and Avihu were contributing in a way that they were not asked to do, and in a way that would disrupt the flow. There's a number of things we could get into, but I think that's kind of, it's an interesting point to me, because we really do all have our own roles. They had, it's not like they were, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with being, a garbage man or a janitor or some sort of sanitation worker. That's an extremely, extremely important role. But if we're looking at, the way that people look at roles in this world, if we're looking at, the social strata of someone who's a priest, it would be like being a government official. It's not like they were being given a role that they felt was below their social strata. They were given a role that was important, and they went past what they were allowed to. And so we see the personality type of someone that does that. And it's just a reminder, it's not you should stay in your place. It's that we should recognize that there's structure and rules and guidelines for reasons, and they help to keep the world to be a harmonious place. And so that's kind of the message that I take from Nadav and Abihu. I'm curious what you guys think. More on these parshiot in another time. Shabbat Shalom. Wishing you a great Shabbat, and God willing, I'll see you all next week.